All right, a pretty uneventful day today, and you can see the SPY's just in a sideways chop fest right now, and it's summer trading, and there's not much volume out there, so this is a great time to chop your account to death if you overtrade. I made 520-ish dollars on my first trade this morning, and pretty much didn't do anything else the rest of the day. And believe me, I was looking, I saw a few opportunities, but nothing I fell in love with, so really trying to hold on to morning gains right now. In this sideways chop fest. So let me go into the watch list here. MULE, you can see, is a recent new issue, and in a pretty quick time frame, it went from up here to basically the all-time lows in 2 days, sitting right at that area. So I want to watch this for a bounce tomorrow. I got a lot of bounce plays on watch. DISCA. If I pan out, you can see how this has a relationship with 24. Here, appears below it, but right back above it, and again here, and has fallen pretty quickly today to get down close to it. Now, it didn't hit 24 today. It hit 24.19. But if it could sell off in the morning and get down around or below 24, it's a good setup for a snapback bounce for a day trade, and that's what I am, a day trader. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one. GNCA, the chart kind of got ugly because if you take today's candle out of it, you had this nice pop, then a gap up that sold off, and then kind of a tightening pattern that looked like it was ready to rip higher again. And instead it went this way. But you could still argue that it's worth a bounce watch because of the news that it had this day. It is back down to that buy zone between the 8 and 20-day moving average. So if you kind of ignore the tightening coil that failed to break out, instead broke down, it's still coming into an area an area where you might find buyers. And at this point, people might look at it and say, okay, now it's come in enough, it's time to turn back up. And I do like this area on a strong stock, the area between the 8 and the 20. Let's look at it on 15s. It's really kind of coming up to where it opened after the halt that day, right? It halted here, opened, and then I think that was the halt. Either that or it gapped up in the morning. I'm not sure. Anyway, sold off and then just ripped and ripped again. And it's coming back down kind of to retest the open. If I show you the daily, you can see there's the open. I'm pretty sure that was after a halt. Plus the area between the 8 and the 20. So it's an interesting area. We're going to watch that one for a bounce tomorrow. BLMN was on watch today. Just nothing. No trades in it. I really like it if it would flush below 17, but it hasn't done that. So it just goes back on watch. It's got pretty good support. 1650, it gapped down below that here, but 1650 and 17, this whole area you can picture has really good support right in that area. So I'd like to see an early flush down to that area. I'd be looking for a trade. CAPR was on bounce watch today, no trades in it, but again, back to that area between the 8 and the 20. Recent strong action, so I want to watch that one. GNC, kind of the same thing, had the big breakout. It's almost round tripped, which makes me like it less, but still worth watching now that it's back down to that area between the 8 and the 20. AMD, I drew a trend line here because after the gap up, it's really followed this trend line pretty well, and now it's 4 days down in a row basically to get there. So I still think that deserves to be on watch. ZN, just a quiet inside day, had a really nice bounce yesterday. So I want to watch that one for potential move higher. We'll see. Not in love with it. And then lastly, I have a very small list today. I have a SEAS, which had really nice volume, all of which which happened in the last 15 minutes. News talk of a buyout or putting themselves up for sale or something. Really massive volume there. So that's definitely worth watching for a follow-through day tomorrow. Man, I'm hoping that we spot some nice gappers in the morning. Today was my was on a gap play. I don't think I traded anything from the overnight list. So again, sometimes you can log in, catch a nice setup like we teach in our course on a gap play, on a morning gap play, get your daily goal, and, in summertime trading, go about your day. I've been using the treadmill a lot, so I'm staying in front of the screens, hoping, to find some other trades, but generally, morning gap plays are kind of where it's at right now, so hopefully we'll find some nice gappers tomorrow. I'll be watching all these stocks as well, and listening to the news squawks for potential setups as well. So anyway, take it easy out there and go, cut your position size down, cut your expectations down a little bit for profits, in slow summertime trading. That's some advice. And one last piece of advice that I broke 2 days in July. I let my daily loss limit be exceeded greatly, and so that's my number one. And I'm a big believer in analyzing your trading and seeing where you really went wrong, right? Really, what's cost you. And daily loss limits are in place for a reason. I had 2 days in July that really just hurt me from having a nice July. And both of those days, if I would have just honored my daily loss limit, in other words, an amount that I can live with each day, and just stopped there, if I hit that point, I would have had a good July. Instead, I barely had a July. So that's my best advice, and focus on what's costing you. And for me, it was ignoring my daily loss limit, and I usually never do that. I did it twice in July, so that's my number one rule for the rest of the year. All we can do as traders is live, learn, and adapt, right? All right, I'm done babbling. We'll see everybody tomorrow.